Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Emily Scarlett. We're feeling our first effects of subtropical storm Alberto, and the storm hasn't even made landfall yet. You can see the bands of rain from the system passing through the Midlands at this hour, and this rain isn't letting up anytime soon. Right now, the Midlands is under a flash flood watch. Meteorologist Kevin Arnone is tracking the soggy Memorial Day. Kevin?
Yeah, we're going to have that rain continuing to move through overnight tonight. Now we are seeing a steady shield of rain moving through, and it's going to continue. And it's got pockets of downpours and really not much wind. So there's some good news for us. We're not going to have the wind factor with this storm, just the heavy rain. Now, here's the first alert radar right now. I'll take the perspective out. Now, no lightning just yet. I have the lightning turned on. That's something we may see tomorrow morning. But look at the deep reds and oranges. This is going to continue just to funnel in just tropical moisture getting right down from the Gulf. And it's going to continue really right through overnight tonight into tomorrow. I'll show you the winds. Just put your mind at ease here. Look, anywhere between about 5-10 miles per hour. That is it. Maybe tomorrow afternoon we may see 20 miles per hour, but that is tops. So just the heavy rain we're going to be dealing with in about 2 to 4 inches. In fact, the storm center of Alberto, about 455 miles away from us, but it is trucking over towards the Panhandle of Florida. It's going to get there by tomorrow midday. It's moving about 15 miles per hour right now. The latest advisory now has winds of 65 miles per hour, and that's the forecast that it will have as it does make landfall in the Panhandle, again, the western side of it. So we're not going to see direct impacts from the storm center, but just because of the high pressure off to our east, that's why we're going to be dealing with this heavy rain. So the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood watch. This is for overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, where we are expecting 2 to 4 inches of rain when all is said and done. I'm going to have the latest track of Alberto and that futurecast coming up. Emily, over to you.
Thanks, Kevin. And we're not the only ones feeling the effects of Alberto tonight. This is a look at conditions earlier in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Thousands along the Gulf of Mexico are still bracing for landfall. NBC's Dan Shinneman reports.
Subtropical storm Alberto slammed into Cuba. 4.5 inches of rain fell there in less than 8 hours. Now the storm threatens the Gulf Coast.
This is going to be a storm that will affect us. Sustained tropical storm force winds are dangerous.
Along with the winds, lots of rain, up to 12 inches across Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi. States of emergency have been declared in all 3 states.
The big thing is down here, everybody's got to watch. These things are unpredictable.
Residents in the Florida Panhandle are preparing for the worst.
I am filling up sandbags to hopefully keep the rainwater from coming in my front door.
Beaches that would usually be packed for Memorial Day weekend are nearly empty.
You just never know with Mother Nature.
After the storm makes landfall, it's expected to move across the south. Dan Shinneman, NBC News.
Stay safe when severe weather is in the forecast by downloading the free WIS weather app. You'll get up-to-the-minute weather alerts and personalized forecast from our weather team. Right now, our biggest concern is the rain, but soon it'll be the heat. And as temperatures go up, living without an AC unit can just be outright unbearable. The Clean Slate Reentry Program started a project called Operation Summer Salvation. They install AC units for the elderly and for those who are disabled who've been living without a working AC unit. But some of the volunteers have a story of their own. They're ex-offenders who are not only working to rehabilitate themselves, but to give back to those who need it most. The program originally started with Sumter, Lee, Clarendon, Williamsburg, and Darlington counties. Now it's expanded to the entire state.
We have a very hot and humid climate here in South Carolina, and we're trying to do this in order to cut down on the heat-related illnesses and deaths.
You can just imagine that pressure and exhaustion on an elderly person that's sick and on medicine, and they're in the 100-degree weathers in those homes. Some of those homes we walk in, the temperatures were up to 105.
Last year, 110 air conditioners were donated to this campaign. Their goal for this year is to have 500 units installed statewide. New at 11, a Charlotte High School basketball player has died after collapsing on the court during an AAU tournament in Virginia. James Hampton, a senior at Charlotte Private School Liberty Heights, collapsed on the court during a game last night in Hampton, Virginia. Witnesses say he was running down the floor when he looked at a nearby referee, said something to the ref, and then collapsed. Team officials say Hampton had suffered from seizures in the past. Former President George H.W. Bush is recovering in the hospital tonight, just one day after attending a breakfast with fellow veterans. A family spokesperson tweeted today saying that the former president was taken to a Maine hospital for low blood pressure and discomfort. The tweet also stated that he's now awake, alert, and not experiencing any discomfort now. He's expected to remain in the hospital for a few days for observation. President Donald Trump today said negotiations are going well to get a canceled summit with North Korea back on track. This just days after the president abruptly called it off. The White House is confirming that a Trump team is in North Korea today to prepare for that meeting. NBC's Jennifer Johnson reports.
The White House confirming a U.S. delegation traveled to North Korea Sunday, preparing for that on, then off, now possibly on again, June 12th summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The president making this statement Saturday night while greeting freed American hostage Joshua Holt.
It's moving along very nicely. So we're looking at June 12th in Singapore. That hasn't changed.
President Trump abruptly canceled the summit Thursday after a war of words with North Korea.
Kim Jong-un may have met his match here with our very unconventional president.
A more conciliatory Kim met with South Korea's president this weekend, reaffirming his commitment to denuclearization. But many doubt he will follow through.
This is a man who has to figure out how to survive in power for 50-something years as a dictator, and is probably afraid that if he gets rid of these weapons, at some point, someone's going to take him out.
Others say any step to reduce North Korea's nuclear arsenal is positive.
You have the meeting, everyone smiles, everyone shakes hands, and everyone agrees on a work program that they give to their staffs that move the Korean Peninsula in a direction of being more stable, more transparent, less prone to war.
The White House is also sending a pre-advance team to Singapore to prepare for the summit. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
Coming up, a state of emergency declared in Maryland tonight after torrential rainfall sparks flash flooding. How residents describe the scene in Ellicott City, Maryland. Plus, we're tracking a chance of heavy downpours here at home from subtropical storm Alberto tonight. An active radar at this hour will take you hour by hour through the tropical system right after the break.